Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and welcome to another exciting haul video where I unbox and show off some of the back issues that I've been getting recently. Actually, I haven't been getting that many back issues recently. I've just hit a bit of a dry spell. I'm still looking for stuff, but I just haven't really been finding some of the stuff that I've been looking for. But I do have a few things, enough for one haul video. I don't know what I'm going to be showing off next time. That's TBD. But for now, I've got some cool comics to show off, kind of a weird mix of stuff this time. Before I get to that, just a quick reminder once again, I'm still running my contest. I'll be giving away a free box of mystery comics to one lucky winner, just filled with the best and most amazing comics that I happen to have lying around in my office here, and that I don't want. So it's probably going to be complete junk, but I'm going to do my best to give you something cool. No promises, but I'm going to try and tailor the box to whoever ends up winning, to whatever your collector taste is. So if you haven't entered that yet, I'm going to have the link down below. Just watch that little short video, and subscribe, leave some comments, stuff like that, and you'll sign up for that. When I hit 250 subscribers, we're going to give that away. Right now I'm at 239 when I'm recording that, so you still have a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. So anyway, I'll have the link down below for that. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the comics, and I'm going to start off with something a little bit weird for me, which is it's Solo Avengers #2. And the reason this is a little bit weird is that I bought a complete run of Solo Avengers when it was coming out. I'm a huge Avengers fan. Back in the 80s, I was like just a giant Avengers fan, and so Solo Avengers was really exciting for me. I love the old school split books, and I just sold off my complete run of this just a couple of weeks ago. I've been talking about, I did a video about the downsizing, and one of the things I decided to get rid of was Solo Avengers. The reason being that I have never reread them since I bought them originally over 30 years ago, and I don't remember them being particularly good. There's a couple stories that I remember liking, but very few of interest, and so I figured, it's just taking up space, someone else can like them more. But I did want to replace this one, and specifically, I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I didn't have it in the hand yet because I happened to make that video in between selling and getting the new one. As you can see here, from the Captain Marvel logo, this is the first solo Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. This came out a year before the Captain Marvel #1 one-shot. And I believe it also came out before her solo stories in the pages of Marvel Feature, although a Marvel Fanfare, although I'm not 100% sure of that. I'm still working on tracking down some of Monica's Marvel Fanfare appearances, which is funny because I have a lot of issues of Marvel Fanfare that I've recently gotten rid of, but none of them had her in them. But there are a few that do have her, and I'm gonna track them down. I've always been a fan of hers, and I really loved it in WandaVision, so I wanted to get a copy of this. I wish I had thought about it a little bit sooner, because my copy was actually signed by Kyron Dwyer, who did the artwork in the Captain Marvel story, and now that one's gone. But that's fine. It's fine. I have other stuff signed by Kyron Dwyer. So anyway, here it is, Soul Avengers #2 replacement book. Not as weird as the next thing I'm going to show you, and that is, I've been teasing this in some of my other videos. It's a pile of Jack Chick tracts. Now, for those who aren't familiar with Jack Chick, just real quick, Jack Chick is this super hardcore, right-wing, conservative, religious nut bar. And he's made dozens and dozens and dozens of these little comic books. And they give out these comics. And they're filled with religious messages. And they're sort of collectible. The thing is that he's been reprinting them, and the Jack Chick Publications here, Chick Publications, has been reprinting these for decades. So then they're free. So, there may be ways to determine like which version you have, but for the most part, they're interchangeable. They don't really have that sort of collectability. But as a cultural artifact, they're really interesting and weird. It's a weird niche. This one in particular I was looking for. This is the Spanish language edition, because I haven't been able to track down the English language edition. But the most infamous of the Jack Chick tracts is this one here. It's called Dark Dungeons. And they did it in 1984, and it's basically a Dungeons and Dragons scare thing where it's a story about a group of kids get into D&D, and the dungeon master is sort of like this, um, basically like this evil Satan worshiper, and the kids get brainwashed. And when one of their characters dies in the story, the girl gets so distraught that she hangs herself right above her D&D table. And then there's this whole moral about how Dungeons and Dragons is luring kids into Satan's service. It's so ridiculously bad and offensive and horrible that, you know, you've got to get it, especially as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons like myself. I was playing D&D at this time. There was a big D&D backlash scare in the 80s that I lived through. I experienced. I had like friends that were trying to do an intervention to save me from Dungeons and Dragons. So this is something that I've wanted for a long time. Again, I couldn't. The English language ones can be really expensive nowadays on eBay, but I managed to get the Spanish language one pretty cheap. And when it arrived, I was not expecting this, but they threw in some of the other ones. Like I said, these got dozens of these. I haven't really looked at them too closely. There's Almost Time, which looks like it has something to do with death. I'm just guessing. The Big Spender, probably something about 80s greed. Congratulations. And then a love story. You know how I love my romance comics. Here's a love story. It's about how much Jesus loves you. So my first chick tracts, I think I actually saw some of these in the 80s at the time, but I didn't keep any of them. So this is a little bit of a niche that I do have an interest because of my upbringing in religious comics. I have a collection of Spire comics and stuff like that. So this fits right into that. So now let's get to the meat of the video. The rest of the video, it's this big pile of comics. I'll give you a few seconds while I unwrap this to guess what's in here. I think most people that have been watching my videos for very long could guess what's in here. You guessed romance comics. You're correct. So this is a lot that I got a while ago. A big lot of 60s DC romance books. Frankly, I think some of them are doubles, but I'm not sure about that. I didn't look quite closely as I should have at the checklist. I was kind of in a hurry because it was like a buy it now, and I wanted to get it and then negotiated a deal. And it ended up being a pretty good deal. The big pile of these, you can see here, I think they're lower grade, but a big pile, and they were basically about $6 each. So let me just show these to you. Again, I didn't really look too closely at my checklist, so I don't know which of these I need and which ones I don't. But I think most of them, at least, I need. And some of them are pretty early, really low grade, rough condition. But Falling in Love 38, the 10-cent logo, that font and stuff, it tells me this is probably between 57 and 59 or so. Nice wedding cover. 46, big square 10 cents. So we're getting into probably 61. Falling in Love 47. Another big 10 cents. Falling in Love 48. This is a big 12 cents. Actually, I know I have this one. This is one of the earliest romance books that I've had. I've had a copy of this for a long time. So this one, at least, is a double. These are all low grade. They all look to be around a 3. Some of them have tears, a lot of rolling and spine damage. Here's issue 52. Oh, there's 2 copies of 52. So I definitely have a double of this. One of them appears to be significantly nicer than the other. So that's an easy choice. One of these is about a 2 or a 2.5, and the other one looks to be about a 3.5, edging towards 4, so that's an easy decision. Falling in Love 63, low grade. We're getting into the mid-60s. We're getting to see some more adventurous designs from some new artists. Falling in Love 65, looks like John Romita. Falling in Love 68, nice wedding cover. All right, so those are all Falling in Love. But here we are switching to Girls' Romances. 71, really low grade. The smug jerk with a sweater tied around his neck. Look at that smug look on his face. Girls' Romances 87, big 12-cent cover. I love it. They're boarding the airplane. I also love the fact that I was just looking at a copy of this on eBay and almost bought it because I didn't realize it was in this lot. But luckily I decided not to. That wouldn't have been the first time. 96, a little bit nicer. Some nice colors on this. Girls' Romances 96. Here's Girls' Romances 98. These are just so cool, you know. Here's 104 with a Richard Chamberlain cover. Right, so there's the poster in the back which says Richard Chamberlain starring in, you can't actually read it, something or other of honor. Twilight of Honor? No, that's not right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then these groupies are going, look, it's Richard Chamberlain. And then this woman's thinking, no, it isn't. It's just plain Bill Peters, my boyfriend, using his resemblance to the famous star to attract other girls. What an absolute dick move that is. She's right there. And he's pretending to be Richard Chamberlain. That's just like epic level. Like, that's rough. Okay, we're going to switch over to Girls' Love Stories now. Number 82. How could he bring her to our special place? Big 10-cent logo. I love getting these. I love the big 10-cent and the big 12-cent, but also I don't have a lot of them, so this is really low grade. Girls' Love Stories number 90. A lot of these have Romita covers. These are a little out of order, and we'll go back. Last one. Girls' Love Stories 83. It's another airplane cover, looks like. Here's your pillow, dear, Mr. Rand. And he's like, oh, snap. Oh, snap. I just got exposed. She was an unexpected surprise, and an unhappy one for me, for this was inevitably the beginning of the end. So great. All right. You know, I don't actually recognize most of these covers, so I think I needed most of them. I might have already had the Richard Chamberlain cover. Obviously, there was the one where there were 2 copies, so obviously that's one of those is now a double. And then the one just before it, Falling in Love 48, also a double. So I think I ended up with only 2 or 3 doubles out of this. A lot of lower grade books, but I don't smell a huge must coming off of them, so that's good. I also don't see a lot of water damage. It looks like just regular old reading damage, and that's good too, so I don't have to worry as much about rusty staples or mold or stuff like that. So in terms of a stack of low grade DC romance books, I'm very pleased with this purchase. That is, as people that watch this, is not always the case when I open these. Sometimes I'm not that pleased with them because sometimes they're a mess. But in this case, pretty happy with these. So next order of business will be for me to finally catalog all of these things that I've been getting in the last couple months. Take them off my checklist so I don't accidentally buy doubles like I almost did with that issue with the airplane. But there it is, another Mondo stack of Silver Age DC Romance. I'm very happy with this. Most of these are earlier Silver Age, late 50s, early 60s. Looks like most of them are 59 to 63, and that's an era that I don't really have a lot of. So this fills in a lot of gaps. So I'm really excited for this. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Next time I have a haul video, what's going to be in it? I don't know. I do still have a couple of store visit videos that I recorded way back in August that I haven't shown you. So I'll take you inside a couple stores. One of them have footage of the inside of the store, and then I've got 2 others without footage, so I might combine those into one video. We'll see. And then, you know, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that within the next 2 months, I'll be fully vaccinated. We finally got the date for when I'll be eligible for that. So we're hoping within the 2 months or so, I'll be vaccinated, and then I'm going to be able to start going out to these stores, recording more on-site videos to show you some of the 50+ comic stores in my area, and we'll get some really cool swag that way. But for now, I don't know what'll be in the next haul video, but there'll be something. And I've got a bunch of other videos coming as well, including the contest, so make sure you sign up for that. But until then, I'll see you next time.